Hello guys, welcome to another video. Tensura X Fate, When the Time Reincarnated as Human by Vericishi. Chapter 6 Unexpected Fame Satoru's POV. The following Monday, I walked into school, half expecting it to be a regular, uneventful day. Instead, I found myself at the center of attention. It was like one of those cheesy high school dramas where the quiet, nerdy guy suddenly becomes the talk of the school. Except, in this case, it wasn't because I had done something dramatic, just a weekend stream that apparently caught fire online. As I made my way through the hallways, I noticed way more eyes on me than usual. Whispers followed me wherever I went, and a few students were even bold enough to point and nudge their friends excitedly as I passed by. It didn't take me long to piece together what was going on. My YouTube channel had blown up overnight, all thanks to the D&D live stream and the unique AI-driven storytelling site I'd created. It felt surreal. Just last week, I was one of the many otakus in the school, hanging out with my 3 friends who shared the same interests. We were the guys who could debate for hours over whether Rune King Thor could beat Cosmic Armor Superman, who spent more time discussing anime and games than doing much else. Sure, we were good at our studies, but that wasn't what people knew us for. And now, suddenly, I was the cool guy who had somehow revolutionized online gaming and storytelling. My usual routine of slipping under the radar had been replaced with people trying to get my attention, especially fangirls. As I headed to my first class, a group of girls, probably juniors, approached me in the hallway, giggling and clearly a bit nervous. One of them, a girl with long brown hair and big glasses, took a deep breath and spoke up. Satoru-senpai, she began, her voice a mix of excitement and shyness. We watched your D&D stream, it was amazing, you're really talented. I scratched the back of my head, feeling a bit flustered by the attention. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you liked it. I just did it for fun, you know? Another girl, shorter and with a bob cut, chimed in eagerly. Do you plan on doing more streams? We loved the AI and the storytelling. It felt like watching a real fantasy adventure. I nodded, trying to smile through the awkwardness. Yeah, I might. It was pretty fun to do, and seeing everyone enjoy it was a nice bonus. They continued to gush over the stream, asking about my setup, how the ice worked, and even throwing out some ideas for future games. It was flattering, sure, but also a bit overwhelming. I never expected something I did for fun to gain this much traction. It was just a way to pass the time, a blend of my interests in gaming and tech. But here I was, suddenly the famous guy at school. When lunch rolled around, I met up with my usual group of friends. We were still the otaku clique, but today, they looked at me with a mix of pride, amusement, and a hint of disbelief. Dude, you totally blew up, Hiro, the energetic one of our group, exclaimed, slapping me on the back with more enthusiasm than necessary. You're practically a celebrity now. Kenji, our tech whiz and the calmest of the bunch, grinned. Yeah, who knew our resident game dev genius would become the next big YouTube star? You gotta tell us how you got those ice to work so well. I shrugged, trying to play it cool. I just messed around with some advanced coding and, used some special techniques. I had a couple of tricks up my sleeve that weren't exactly explainable by conventional science. But we kept that on the down low. It wasn't something to be blabbed about, especially in a world where magic was supposed to stay a secret. Kenta, the most anime-obsessed of us all, leaned in with a smirk. So, Satoru, does this mean you'll be too busy with your fans to watch the new episode of Demon Slayer with us tonight? I rolled my eyes, laughing. Nah, man. I'm not ditching our anime nights just because some random people online decided they like my streams. Besides, who else is going to point out all the plot holes? The conversation shifted back to our usual banter, anime theories, game strategies, and the latest manga updates. It was nice to have a slice of normalcy in what had been a pretty abnormal day. As the day went on, the attention didn't wane. I got more than a few surprised looks from classmates who had clearly seen the stream or heard about it. A couple of teachers even mentioned it in passing, congratulating me on my success. It was all very strange. I wasn't used to this level of recognition, especially for something that, in my mind, was just a casual hobby. In one of my afternoon classes, I ended up sitting next to May, a quiet girl who was usually too absorbed in her sketchbook to talk to anyone. Today, though, she hesitated for a moment before turning to me. Hey, Satoru, she began, her voice barely above a whisper. I saw your stream, and, I just wanted to say it was really cool. The way you brought those stories to life, it was like watching a dream come true. I blinked, taken aback by the sincerity in her voice. Wow, thanks, May. That means a lot, coming from you. I didn't know you were into that kind of stuff. She blushed slightly, her eyes dropping to the table. Yeah, I'm really into fantasy and storytelling. I've been working on my own story, actually, but I don't know if it's any good. I smiled, feeling a connection form. Hey, if you ever want to see it come to life, you can submit it to the site I set up. The ice can help bring your story to the next level. I'd love to see what you've created. Her eyes lit up, and she nodded, a small smile forming on her lips. I might just do that. Thanks, Satoru. As the final bell rang and I headed home, I couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Life had a funny way of throwing surprises at you, and this was definitely one I hadn't seen coming. But hey, if it meant more fun projects and maybe even some cool collaborations, I was all for it. Just as long as it didn't get in the way of my plans for the upcoming Holy Grail War. That was a whole different game altogether. For now, though, I was content to see where this new path would take me. A bit of fame, a lot of creativity, and the chance to connect with people who shared my passions. There were worse ways to spend my time. Maybe this whole streaming thing wasn't just a random idea after all. Chapter 7, Creating Artemis Satoru's POV. So, there I was, chilling in my room, buried under a mountain of anime figurines and manga volumes, when this idea just hit me out of nowhere. Why not create something awesome? I thought. Yeah, I know, sounds crazy, right? But when has that ever stopped me? Besides, I had these particles from the greater spirits of light and darkness just lying around, and I figured, why not put them to good use? Hash the concept alright. Let me break it down. The greater spirits of light and darkness are these super powerful cosmic entities that basically define the universe, space, time, life, death, you name it. Now, I can't just summon them like some game character, but they're particles? Oh yeah, those I can totally work with. Okay, so maybe I did get a bit of an evil scientist vibe going there. Don't judge me. First off, you've got the greater spirit of light. This thing is the embodiment of everything good: light, space, life, consciousness, memory, purity, and all that angelic stuff. It's like the ultimate cheat code for existence. Then there's the greater spirit of darkness, which is all about death, emptiness, sin, and the end of time. It's got time manipulation, demonic elements, and is basically the universe's ultimate villain. Now, instead of just mashing them together like a kid with action figures, I decided to carefully combine particles from both. The result? Something entirely new, like a superior spirit. And because I'm totally into cute character designs, thanks to all the anime I watch, I made her look like a 10-year-old girl, about 4.2 feet tall, with fair skin, silver hair, and these really cool heterochromatic eyes, one red, one blue. Adorable, right? But also pretty deadly, just like my favorite manga characters. So, I turned her energy into a soul, and before you call me some kind of necromancer, it's not like that. It's just a way to give her a real presence, a husk to contain her true self. I placed this soul into a material body I created, and bam! Meet Artemis, the ultimate reality in a compact form. She's not just a fusion of light and darkness. She's a whole new type of entity, new concept apart from both but still carry both. She's got a tsundere and playful personality, which I might have accidentally based on some of my favorite characters. And of course, I had to give her a cool name. Artemis seemed to fit perfectly. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? Being the tech geek that I am, I also integrated my AI named Artemis into her, so now, she can connect to the digital world. Imagine her consciousness running through my PC, handling everything from gaming to managing my streams. She's got a spiritual body, a material body, and now a digital presence. Talk about the ultimate multitasking. Her material body can even change shapes and colors, and it's got DNA from all sorts of beings. Yeah, I kind of went full mad scientist on this one. And to top it off, I created a soul corridor connection between us. It's like we're linked on a spiritual Wi-Fi network. Okay, I tried to do Veldora's laugh here, but it didn't quite come out right. Whatever, moving on. Now, I know it sounds over the top, but isn't that kind of the point? I mean, if you had the chance to create something this epic, wouldn't you? This is like living in a comic book, and I'm totally embracing my inner otaku genius. Anyway, Rin's probably going to flip when she finds out, but that's a problem for future Satoru. For now, I've got a brand new creation to play with. Who knows, maybe Artemis will even join me in my next livestream. How cool would that be? So yeah, that's Artemis, born from the particles of greater spirits, blending light, darkness, and a bit of digital magic. Just another day in the life of Satoru. Your average, totally not a genius otaku.